Okay, kind of a quick little problem solving tutorial. So working here in Unity, I have a model created by a student, by Lisa, and I wanted to cover just a few issues. So the first one is, first thing is I baked this, right? And I don't know, this looks pretty good, but if you'd seen the renders in Maya, using Mental-Ray or RenderMan, these seem kind of washed out and kind of gray. So this, just like with Maya and that, it has to do with the conversion of working or rendering in a linear color space and dealing with gamma correction. So Maya, you would just turn on color management if you were using Mental-Ray. RenderMan just deals with this for you. But there is no setting here in the lighting parameter to change for this. You actually have to go up to Edit, and there we go. Player of all project settings player, and there are several tabs here that just drop down, splash screen image, whatever when you publish. But there's this for the rendering, the color space. I don't know why it's here, and maybe I'm missing something why it needs to be here, but the default is gamma corrected. I'm going to change that to linear. You're not going to see any change yet. Now I have a little spinning beach ball of death. So a little window will pop up here in a second, and Unity is going to go back to the linear color space instead of doing the gamma correction for the light map that's in there. We'll just wait for a second, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to toggle back and forth between these because it just takes, as you can see, a little while to do it, but boom, that definitely looks better to me, and I think Lisa would say that's truer to the image and the colors that she was using. If you're going to do the Forbidden City, your red's got to look good, right? So that's the first thing. That looks nice. Let's go ahead and jump down in here. Let's go back at the top. Instead of just the shaded model, we can see wireframe and all that stuff. We can also see output based on UV charts and things like this. I'm just going to go to baked itself. So this is showing the baked contribution to the scene, and also has the show light map resolution. So one thing that happened here, let me go back actually. I'm not sure why, but this object, even though it was in the hierarchy, it got deselected from being static. And actually I just turned that on before I start the tutorial, so if I do another bake, which I'll do here in a second, that will fix that. But just keep in mind, if you see geometry that seems to be sticking out, probably did not have static turned on, but I've changed that. Let's go back to baked. All right, so you can see the resolution basically is shown in these pieces with these texels, right? It's kind of like a little UV map of light baking resolution. You can see the red that's bouncing in that map itself. But this one here has some, it's just not, the resolution itself is not similar to the others, and I want to do that. So I'm going to go back to the lighting tab under object. If I click on this here, you can see the scale and light map set to 1. I'm just going to make that 2, or how about 3? So you can see that resolution for that that object in its light map is going to be similar to all the others. Now, I did that just because I wanted kind of a uniform bake. There might be really important areas that you want to have a higher resolution, or we can see these pieces up here, they have a lower resolution as far as their baking. Because they're up there on the roof, I'm not going to worry about them, so that's a fine place for them to have a lower resolution for that. Okay, so I think let's just go back here, shaded. All right, so I could go back and redo the bake. I think will do that just for this, but I think for the purpose of this tutorial, you can see how the main thing was that change to the linear color space, but also how to adjust the scale, basically the resolution of the light map for that object. All right, hope that helps.